Okay, so hello everybody. I'm gonna give you a better explanation of why, if you want to upbeat the speed of light, your speed has to be minus infinite. Well, there were some people who didn't understand, so I'm just gonna give you a better explanation of that. And also, yeah, so basically, what I want for you to understand is that there is this kind of like a law. I guess it's a law of the universe, of basically the law of duality. Is that if there is something, then there is always the opposite of it. So if there is black, we have white, you know. If there is a dome shape, then we also have the opposite of the dome, which is like the cutout dome shape. You know, if we have, there would be no light without darkness, there would be no summer without winter, you know, like all these kinds of dualities, and it's like everywhere in the universe. Like I wouldn't say that's also just in nature, but like they can be applied on physics as well, and just like everywhere. Now let's take a look at this puzzle. This is gonna be your example. So this is a puzzle. You see these two pieces. Now we take this one piece, and it has this dome shape. So in order for this puzzle to connect with another puzzle, which is here, this puzzle has to have the opposite shape of this dome, which is this like caved in, we could say U shape. Okay, but it's the exact opposite of this one, so that they could connect. Now if this puzzle, for instance, did not exist at all, and we just had this puzzle, you can see that there is a dome shape right here. So whether this is in space or not in space, whether we have this second piece or we don't have it, still that opposite of this shape does exist around it. No matter where I move it in space, right? It doesn't matter where I move it. You can still look at this puzzle in a way where you see this as a dome, or you see the background, like for instance right now would be my hand, in the opposite of that shape. So basically this dome shape couldn't exist without the opposite of it, which is the U shape. So now, what does this have to do with infinity, the speed of light as an infinite one? Well, it has a lot to do with it, and I'm gonna basically explain to you. We understand that infinity is ever expanding, so it's never stagnant. So it does not have a shape because it's infinitely expanding. And so, for that matter, it does not have a shape, so it does not have an edge. I'm gonna give you an example. So we're gonna be pretending that an infinity has a shape. Just let's pretend that infinity has a shape. And so it looks like this. And so you can understand that these edges are always expanding because this is infinity. And they're infinitely expanding. So now, think about it. Hold on. So now, right? Like let's say this is the edge of the infinity. So since this is a plus infinity edge, so it's an infinite edge, a plus infinity edge, on the other side of it, they will have to have the opposite shape, which would be the minus infinity. So you see, like in order for this kind of edge to exist, which is the plus infinity edge, which is basically not stagnant, it's ever expanding because it's infinity and it's plus, so infinity signals that it's ever moving, and this then on the other side has to be the opposite, just like it was with the puzzle, and on the other side of it must be the opposite shape of it. So the same here, when we reach the edge of the infinity, on the other side has to be the opposite, which is the minus infinity. Basically minus infinity is just nothingness, and plus infinity is everythingness. So that's why. Now look, now what does this have to do with the speed of light? So the infinity is expanding in the speed of light infinitively. What does that have to do with the fact that if you want to upbeat light, your speed has to be minus infinite? Well, when we look at it, okay, this is the light expanding in infinite speed. So think of it this way. imagine like this is the light of speed, the speed of light, and so imagine that this is the speed of light, right? It's just like this arrow, and then there's this dot, and that is you basically trying to upbeat it, trying to be faster, racing with the speed of light. So what happens is that by the edge of it, what is by the edge of it? What is by the edge of infinity? It is infinity. It is plus infinity because it doesn't have an edge. In order to be in the front of it, right? In front of infinity, you have to be minus infinity. You have to be minus infinity if you want to be in front of it. Because in order to be in front of something, you have to be by the edge of it. You have to be in an area where it ends. Okay? So then you're going to be in front of it. You're going to be first before it. So that's why your speed has to be minus infinite, because in front of infinity, by the edge on infinity, on the other side of infinity, we have the minus infinity, and it comes first before it. But it doesn't come first before it because it doesn't exist, because minus infinity is non-existence. So the whole idea and the whole realization is that basically it's impossible to be faster than the speed of light, because it would require for you to simply not even exist. So also another thing, another idea I just thought about, like maybe when we die we actually do travel in the speed of light, and this makes it makes sense, because Einstein said that in order to reach the speed of light, your mass has to become infinite. So for that matter, the energy required to move it would have to be infinite. So when you live like, it makes perfect sense that when you die, you reach the speed of light because you leave your body. So you leave that matter, and therefore you connect with the light, you connect with the God, you become one. Like, a lot of people who have had near-death experiences say that they go back to the light. When they die, they go back to the light and they become one with God, they become one with everything. And so then it's just like, there you go, there is the answer. So if we become one with the light, that means we reach the speed of light. And it makes also sense because, and another thing why it makes sense is because we leave the matter behind, we leave it. So we now, according to the theory of Einstein's, we now are capable of reaching the speed of light because we do not have mass. So, his idea, his theory was, it's impossible for matter to travel in the speed of light. So, if we don't have the matter, then this means that it is possible. So, if we leave it, and we become one with the light. Like, do you see how these dots really connect? We leave the body, so we leave the mass. We also connect with the light. So we do reach the infinite speed of light. And we become one. Once again, we lift the veil, So yeah, good luck.